more and more. Is that how corporate India wants its youth to look at work?
Yeah, Vasundhara. So I think it's more so a generational divide in a way. Like, you have Gen X and you have Gen Z. And I think it's the Gen Z, this mindset is totally different. They're looking at work-life balance. They're trying to, they're probably much more smarter than the Gen X of the world, like where we were. So what is needed though is efficiency, right? So it's not the hours that you work, but how effective are you working, right? So you may work 5 hours a day, but you need to be effective, because very often it's not at work that you get the best ideas. Like, Newton found gravity by an apple falling down his head. So was he working, not working? So it's not what the hours you put, but what you do in that hours that count. So it depends on what industry you are in and stuff like that. If you look at India, so we moved from a 6-day work week to a 5-day work week. And why did we do that about 30, 40 years ago? It's because to get a more work-life balance. And work-life balance, not necessarily about spending time with, it could be with parents, it could be doing what you love, what you do, and, stuff like that. So
companies also organizing meditation classes and stress busting sessions and yoga classes, but at the same time leaders of business enterprises saying that this is your duty and you have to work 70 to 90 hours a week. How do you see that duplicity? Because what is that collective message that corporate India is sending out to its professionals?
Yeah, Vasundhara, so India has become one of the most unhealthy nations in the world, right? The number of diabetes we have is like we're the diabetes capital of the world. And that's all a lifestyle disease, right? So that people encounter. And that's all because of the stress people go through, whether it's the traffic and stuff like that. So, and another big problem that people don't realize, if everyone works 90 hours a day, are there enough jobs in India? Right? So we need, as of today, we need like 1 million jobs a month. So if everyone ends up working 90 hours, then we will have 2 million jobs to fill or something like that. And there are, like, to each its own, like it was said earlier, because the geek workers today work 16 hours too. And so as a nation, we need to look at how the health of the nation can improve. And if you're going to keep people healthier and a happier nation, that should be our focus, right? So success is relative for everybody. There's some people's success is to earn money, some people is to have a better life. So what are we talking about is the question, right?
Thank you so much.
I think it's a great initiative. This is something timely, and it's what is needed. I spent a week last month spending time on learning AI. I went to an AI class to learn, and I was just blown away with what you can achieve in just a short time. And I'm sure if India is empowered, Indians are empowered with such technologies, it's going to transform India. And in many ways, transform companies like Microsoft itself. Like, think about it, 30 years ago, the investments Microsoft did in terms of getting Microsoft Office and Azure has resulted in their CEO being he studied in India, bred in India, and then went across to the US, and he's a CEO of Microsoft. Maybe this may seed the next CEO of Microsoft as well, right? So, and it's 10 years ago, we were speaking about the digital divide. Now, in today's world, or the world going forward in the next couple of months or next couple of years, is going to be the AI divide. So one of the biggest crises or the problems that India will have is how do we educate and get the AI-enabled generation? And I think this is a right step in that direction, where we can get 10 million people through this Microsoft initiative. And I salute and I commend Microsoft for coming in and investing it. And I'm sure this will help India and help Microsoft and the world at large.
Right.
Yeah, so if you look at one of the things that this announcement of Microsoft says is also it's going to invest in a lot of new startups. So it's going to, and with Microsoft getting in and empowering the startups, it will give a great impetus to the new companies coming up and a lot of new companies coming up. Most of the AI companies are new, and then they're flat, right? So, and from that perspective, so it's a welcome initiative that they're really investing in these startups.
Right. Last word from you.
And for India as such, one is again referring back to. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Please
can you hear
go
me?
on. Yeah.
Yeah. The last word is I always say that the world does not need as much gardeners now. It needs more horticulturists, and this AI initiative and training will enable that. And on the data center side, the initiative again with Geo is a welcome
Right.
journey, because that's a grassroots infrastructure with cloud infrastructure will join together and develop India in a much better way. So.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Valeppa, and thank you, Mr. Prabhat, for joining us. AI indeed has become a cornerstone